I'm the first guy ever on this, right?
Yeah, first guy.
Do you see my stomach? No, right?
Can I keep that in? Will you hate me?
Are we rolling already?
Yes. She's always rolling. Just know that about Jessica Cameron. She's always rolling.
Hey guys, welcome back to Scream Queen Stream. I'm your host, Jessica Cameron, and by now you know my favorite ginger, Miss Dani Inks. Obviously, I would
like her
her shit
third
down
favorite
below.
ginger. It's fine.
You're my favorite ginger. Now, you might notice we have a new person in the hot tub. That's right, the very first man to ever join us in the hot tub.
It's a boy!
And that is our friend Ivan. Ivan, let's share with the public a little bit about yourself because he's a fellow YouTuber and also just a hilarious human being.
Hello, guys. I moved to LA like about 9 months ago. And I have a little channel myself called The Movie Void, where we also review films and vlog every Sunday.
Because you hate Sundays.
I don't hate Sundays as much anymore. I used to hate them back in Europe because all the stores closed.
Oh, it's like that in a small town too.
Yeah. Sometimes like you just sit there on the Sunday in Europe and you start crying because it's so boring.
I feel like that's not what you do if you're in Europe on a Sunday.
Well, not you, because you're not from there. If you're from there, it's different, I guess. I would love being in Europe on a Sunday.
Comment down below if you are in Europe and you cry on Sundays. I feel like that's what
maybe we should have a therapy session later.
Yes.
Maybe
we should with our favorite bartender, Dani Inks.
If we need to talk about it, I'll give you shots and we'll talk about it.
Now, a side note also,
it has happened many times.
We are in the coldest hot tub ever because all the burners.
All the burners went down.
Apparently it broke.
This is actually
so he's shaking cold right now because he's like the last one in. So
if I'm not that cold, I feel like you shouldn't be that cold because I'm a big old wuss about shit.
I'm a big old wuss too.
Well, apparently you're a bigger wuss than me. So that makes me feel better about myself. So thank you. Thanks.
So now. Pause for a helicopter. Sorry, we're in Hollywood, so of course they're like searching for someone.
Well, we're in Hollywood on the roof.
They're looking for us.
Of a building in Hollywood, so they're gonna be the helicopters.
But that being said, now that we're almost 3 minutes into this video, we are here to talk about our thoughts on the movie Brightburn. So for those of you who don't know, Brightburn was just released. It's produced by James Gunn, starring Elizabeth Banks, and a bunch of other people whose name I don't know.
Love Elizabeth Banks so much.
His cousins wrote and directed it.
Gotcha. Some guy I'd not heard of.
Like other gun members of the Gunn family.
They're all Guns. All the Gunn
family.
All the Guns directed
Guns produced this and directed it.
That being said, I really wanted to do this review. It was one of the very first trailer reviews that we did on this channel, and I thought it was interesting. So for those of you who are not familiar, it's kind of a shitty synopsis reading of it is if it was Superman, but he was evil instead of good. So basically this family, this husband and wife who've been trying to have a baby, find a baby, falls from the sky in a spaceship, and they take him in and raise him as their own. And when the child hits, I think 12, he starts showing signs of being evil.
12 or 13th birthday.
So what I like to do on these guys after I give the brief synopsis is I then talk about what worked. So for you guys, what worked about the movie?
I like generally, this is something like I might be the only one that thinks that I could identify with this kid a lot, like because he felt like an outcast to begin with, and that's the thing that I haven't heard a lot of people saying. That I think they did a really good job in portraying like how the kid feels and why in the end he ends up forced to use his powers, because he's just like, you know, a kid going through puberty. He's having some really rough times, and when you're a kid in puberty with superpowers, you just snap one day.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I will piggyback on that. Piggyback on that and say I think the casting was really great overall. The child I thought was really well cast.
He was really good.
He's like weird, and there's an alien-like quality to the child that's not over the top.
Yeah, it's the shape of his face, I think.
But like, not enough that if he was in your kid's school, you'd like notice and be like, that's an alien. But enough like understanding the story, you're like, you have alien-like qualities.
So once it comes out, you're like, oh god.
Gotcha. Yeah. And obviously I love Elizabeth Banks, and the actor who I'll insert a photo of here, who plays her husband, is really, really great. And I bought their relationship, which I thought was really, really
sweet. The chemistry between the two really, really worked. Like, I was also very impressed by that.
Right? And they did like that 12-year span, and I thought it really worked how they did it. Like, I bought them as their earlier versions of themselves, as well as their later versions.
Because they gave her extensions.
They did, but also, like, it just worked. It was very sweet, very charming. What else worked for you?
Generally, all the acting worked, I think. Like,
yeah, the
there
acting
was not a single bad performance in this.
Yeah, I like the acting. I didn't not care for the acting, and usually that's one of my biggest pet peeves. So, but no, everything was great, and I adore Elizabeth Banks. She's the best.
What else worked for
she
you
did
guys?
great. She reminds me of you a little.
Yeah, right. Ironically, there's like a picture of her holding the child where several people have already noted they're like, that looks so much like you, Jessica. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Although, thank you. I really appreciate that compliment.
Right?
Side note, available to play your younger sister, Elizabeth Banks. Just saying. So what else worked?
They can play sisters. I really like how the movie was shot, and it looked really great.
And I want to say it's around a $12 million budget. I'll post the budget here, or at least what's listed. But it wasn't as high of a budget as I was thinking it was. It's shot beautifully.
It seems like you're watching a.
But the effects were good too, considering like if it wasn't like a $100 million movie, which usually superhero.
Yeah. Especially towards the end.
Yeah.
Like, especially towards the end, that really worked.
Yeah,
well.
like, I really believed it was... I really got a Smallville kind of vibe to it, because I watched the show Smallville, like, religiously back in the day. And I really got that. I love that show.
Go Canada.
And, yeah, yay, Canada. Meanwhile, last video, I was like, Canada sucks. But, you know, I kind of flip-flop with Canada. I have a love-hate with Canada, so it's a thing. But no, I felt like it was the show Smallville before he became a teenager. Only he was an asshole. Like,
I also felt like
instead of being a goody-goody.
Agreed. And I also think, before I forget to mention it, because I think I will, and something I haven't heard anyone to mention, was I thought they played it, how they presented it as like featuring the small town that they lived in and their lifestyle worked really, really well. Because initially, when I heard the concept, I would be like, I don't know, I'm going to take issue. Like, nobody could just like have a baby magically and nobody ask questions. But it's such a small town where I feel
they had to have gone out of town to adopt, so none of their friends would have even given a shit.
But like, it's such a small town, they all would just take them at their word. And I thought they presented that really well, just with like the small town diner and the small town school, and explaining that like the aunt is also the only school therapist in the region. You know, I thought they did a really good job of sort of explaining and showing how small their little community was, and how they were such a tight-knit world.
That was something.
And I think it's crucial to selling like the whole origin story of like how this could actually happen.
Oh yeah, coming from a small town in the U.S. like this, I especially when they were in the bar shooting pool, I was like, oh my God, this, in their outfits and the way they talked to each other, and how the one guy was drunk and they were like, can you get home okay? Are you sure? You're good? Okay, even though he was obviously drunk. He's like, I got this. It's just a couple miles down the street. It's fine. And everybody's like, okay. Like, that's what happens in a small town. And, like, it was so, and just the way they were dressed and everything, it really reminded me of home.
And I will say, that reminded me of something else that worked really well, is I thought they had a lot of pieces that connected together. So, by the way, these reviews contain spoilers. So, one of the things... An example of that, like, just like the pieces on paper worked really well. For example, they let him leave. He's obviously had probably a little bit too much to drink. Not drastically so. Like, he's not, like, falling over where you're like, how did you not take his keys?
But yeah, I wouldn't let him drive.
Where when something bad happens to him and Elizabeth calls out her husband to be like, you're blaming a kid because you just feel guilty, and you're like, those pieces fit. I could see how a woman who didn't want to see that about her son could push to that conclusion, because again, he did let him leave. He was in that position to stop him. He made the choice not to, and where it's like an easy out for her to say that. So a lot of those pieces sort of worked and made sense.
I might have just wanted to get some more character development when he went out to shoot the kid.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have we'll talk about what didn't work in a minute.
Yeah.
Did anything else work for you guys?
No.
I love the ending, that they ended it like on such a high note and on such a on such a...
That was not a high note at all.
It was totally
I
opposite of a high note.
ending.
I did not. I was bummed. I don't go to the movies to be bummed.
I was like, hell yeah, this
That's why I
kid
don't watch
showed up.
movies like this.
I was more on the kid's side, you know. That was probably my problem.
Of course you were.
I was like all team. What's the kid's
Well, I
name
was.
again?
Well,
I don't remember the child's name.
I was on his side. Byron was the last name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Byron?
Brandon,
because it was BB.
Byron.
Yeah.
Also, I thought that logo worked really well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
The logo really did.
I like the logo.
And it was
but also,
very...
like, side note, you're supposed to be this, like, supernatural being from another universe. How dumb are you to sorry, I'm getting into, like,
but that's the thing.
But fucking dumbass leaving your signature everywhere?
Yeah.
But that there was a reason for that. I actually didn't mind that.
The only reason is just so that we can catch you in the movie, in the 90-minute film.
So apparently we're going to the things we don't like now.
Well, what else did you like? Did you like anything else?
No, I didn't. No, I said I didn't.
Did you like anything else?
Wait, let me think. I love the pacing, definitely, too. Like, there was not a single boring moment in the movie. Like,
I disagree.
I
thought there was lots of boring.
I thought it went pretty quick.
I was very
It went more quickly than I thought it was going to, because BT Dub, I only went to this movie because of Jessica Cameron. Actually, in our review of the trailer, at the end of the review, she's like, "So are you going to go see it?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, no. I'm not going to go see it." And I didn't think I was going to go see it at all. And then Jessica was like, "Let's go see it." And I was like, "You fucking..."
Well, I was talking to Heather, and Heather was like, "Yeah, I'll go see that." I was like, "You never agree to do anything ever in life."
And she never does. I haven't
agreed to go to one thing, and I was like, "Oh shit, Dani, let's get in on this."
Yeah, I hadn't seen Heather in a while, and the fact that she agreed, because no offense, like, had you been like, "Hey, you and me go to Brightburn," I'd be like, "Yeah, suck my dick." But
I love you.
But you were like, "I love you," but I didn't want to see the movie. But she was like, "Well, Heather agreed," and I was like, "Oh, Heather agreed to leave the house and go out with us. Anything. I'll go see anything if she's willing."
But I also thought it was like the first. So like our friend Heather is like a super comic book geek. So I was like, "Oh
and
yes,
she loves
you love comic books. You love Superman. I love horror.
Superman.
This might be the movie that
it was not. It was not.
Okay, so let's jump to
It was not.
what did not work. Now, you are a fan of this film, so I'm curious. Let's start with you. What did not work for you?
I'm actually going to bow out for a second, put some more sunscreen on, because there's sun on my back and I'm ginger. Bye.
Okay, so what did not work for me?
What did not work for you?
I was like having some problems with some decisions that were being made. Sometimes, like the kills, he gets away too easy. It's like we don't find he doesn't have a single type of kryptonite or anything that makes him have a weakness.
Yeah, there's no weakness. I didn't like. For me, like going to the kills, also they felt so inconsistent and random, and it felt like so. Basically, he's got like this force that's driving. Oh yes, sure, spray me, spray me like one of your French boys.
Yeah, give me. I love some French boys.
Now they felt so stupidly random, which just annoyed me. Quite frankly, they just annoyed me because I'm like, so he's got like the spaceship starts pulsating somewhere around his 12th birthday, being like, "You destroy the world" or something. What was that he was saying?
Take the world.
Take the world. Take the world. Take the world. And this 12-year-old child interprets that to be like, "Oh, that crush that I have who didn't help me up off the ground, let me sneak into her, let me break her arm, and then sneak into her room," as Dani like spills water all over her, sneak into her room. And then I'm going to like go after her mom. And I was like, how does Take Over the World go after that small town girl's mom?
That didn't work. That's not what that meant.
What? I'm pretty sure Take Over the World meant take over the motherfucking world.
It said take the world, so it meant take what you want. And he wanted that little girl because she was the only one who was nice to him.
Yeah.
Figures, you have
that's
all
how
the
I
power
took
in
it.
the universe.
No, that's how I took it.
And since her mother was forbidding him to come over.
I still think it's a waste of fucking powers.
Well, yeah.
And also, like, too, like, you have all these other kids that, like, pick on you endlessly. This girl stood up with you previously. You don't go after them at all. Like, his kills felt very random, and they didn't seem to make logical sense to me. And I felt there were stronger choices that I would have liked to see. And also, like, more people that should have their comeuppance. You know what I mean? Like, again, going after the mom. Like, of course the mom. You fucking broke her hand. Then you stuck into her room, dipshit. Yeah. Like, come on, here's the thing. You're supposed to be from another planet. You should be smarter than that.
Well, I think the reason that was an issue is because, like, when he left his mark at every one of the kill scenes, it wasn't because, like, he wasn't smart enough to not do that. It was because that take the world was his, like, his own people telling him, like, you're better than these people. Do what the fuck you want. And he did. He was like, I'm going to do what the fuck I want.
But still, if you're going to do it,
and that's why he went in that little girl's bedroom.
In this country, then fucking don't be a dumbass. I don't know.
It was also like anything that was in his way.
He's also 12.
True.
And from another planet.
But take the world. Really, you're going after a 12-year-old. Take the world. You have all the powers.
Yep.
But that's who was nice to him.
You know, the mother was in the way for him to see the little girl on one hand. Then the psychologist is in his way to keep staying in school and stuff.
Okay, so he did not go after. He had an issue with his aunt, who was like the psychologist at the school, because he didn't want her to tell.
It's also his teacher.
Yeah. He didn't want her to tell.
Small town.
Like, he didn't want to tell the police chief, I think it was. But then he like takes out that vengeance on her husband, his uncle, and not her, even though he literally told her, he's like, I can't let you do that. But then it's like, what the fuck, dude? You let her do that.
But the thing is, he went after her, and the husband came in before he got a chance to do that. So he knew that the husband was more of an immediate threat.
But he could have finished her too, and
he could have. But
he kind of said that he was like, I can't let you do that.
But he can't let you do that. So I will punish you, not necessarily kill you. I will punish you, and by doing that, he killed the husband who was going to tell on him, and then he killed the wife's husband who was also going to tell on him. So he still punished her.
I know, but guess what's going to happen when he said, I can't let you do that? She's still going to go to the police chief and be like, I tell him.
Not if she's worried about her dead husband.
No.
She's not going to. She's going to. No. Again, like, it just felt random and inconsistent to me. I don't know. I will say one thing I meant to mention in the things I did like was the gore. I thought the gore was well done.
Yes, I wanted to say that too, especially that jaw scene. That was incredible.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And the effects were really, really good.
I think that was a little bit. It was CGI though.
A little bit, but I thought it was enough that it was fine.
Yeah,
I think it was some practical. I think the CGI came in when he tried to move it.
Yeah.
But because I felt like the first shot of it felt practical to me. It did feel CGI.
But we didn't get any CGI blood or crap like that. So that was all CGI held in a very classy manner.
Yeah,
but
I don't mind the mixing of the two as long as it's good.
And I also liked the brutality that he showed in that. I really appreciated that. I felt it gave a layer into his insight. That being said, again, because the kills didn't feel motivated, they still fell short for me. And something else that I did not like about this film in general was just that we didn't really have a hero to root for.
Yeah,
like we didn't. We just sort of had so this kid's a good guy and he turns over the course of the film. So we're not really rooting for him because he's turned bad. And then you kind of, at one point, you kind of want to feel bad for the parents, but then you're like, you're fucking so dumb and ignorant. Fuck you. You deserve to die. Like, even Elizabeth Banks,
but you do feel sorry for them when they're frustrated.
I didn't.
They're crying.
I did not. So I felt a little bit bad for the father who was trying to explain to the wife, like, hello, open up your eyes. And he's like,
I did feel bad for Elizabeth Banks because, number one, I love Elizabeth Banks, so I'm always on your side, Elizabeth Banks. Always. You could play serial killer and I will still be on your side. I love you. But, and also because she was a mother and she not just a mother, but a mother who really, really wanted a child and couldn't have one, and she finally gets one. And like, I have a lot of friends who that's happened to. Either they couldn't get pregnant and then they got pregnant, or they adopted, or whatever. You hold on to that child even tighter than normal. And I really like what they said. They set up with the dad, how the dad even told him, like, when you first came to us, I was like, I don't know. But then you and I bonded after that. She immediately was like, my child! Like, because she's a mother and she wanted to be a mother. And so whenever you really want that, you just hold on even tighter. And she would just, I did root for her.
I mean, again, I saw that, but I still was like, you're fucking no. But I was also like, here's the thing, you deserve to die.
But a mother's love is so strong.
It is.
Not even if the kid kills a bunch of people, it doesn't matter.
But that's the thing. But also.
But at what point are you just like, my kid's fucking evil? Shit, I backed the wrong horse.
But that's the thing. Once you have that motherly, especially like that extra oomph because you couldn't have a kid, you just like even more. And the father didn't do that. I feel like the father didn't really.
But I feel like, again, just it's part of human making mistakes, and sometimes you have to be like, I backed the wrong horse, guys. Even if you love and care them, but like you're like, no, man.
Well, she did it at the very, very end. She did admit she backed the wrong horse. It just took her a really long time.
Yeah.
And I love that we're using that terminology this week. We backed the wrong horse.
And also, what was up with him killing the chickens? That made no sense.
Yeah, that made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I forgot all about that. They needed something to like move forward.
Yeah, they needed something to prove that he was
it was a lot of effort for like no payoff. It didn't make any logical sense.
Yeah,
even if you're like, let's see if he could like kill something. Well, have him kill the family dog or some shit. They're on a farm. I'm sure there's a dog somewhere. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see a dog die, but at least that would have like a purpose.
Yeah, I would have walked out at that point. I don't.
But at least that would be like a purpose, right? Like if there was like, let's show the transition, like killing a bunch of chickens that he never.
Maybe it was just like target practice, He's training to become this badass supervillain. Like, he needs to, like, shoot some things down.
He didn't shoot them. He killed them with his hands, in theory. That's, like, what it's supposed to imply.
Well, like, I want to say, like, the biggest disappointment of this movie is, like, I don't know, maybe it's
the whole
me.
Movie?
And but maybe it's because I watch a lot of Disney films and Lifetime movies.
Starring Elizabeth Banks.
Whatever. But anyway, So I was just really upset because like I was rooting for the kid for a while. It's not like, you know, as soon as I found out he was evil, I was like, maybe he'll change his ways and it'll be great and it'll be wonderful. No. And it just, there's no good guy and I didn't like it.
I
It was
kept
sad.
rooting for him till the very end. I was one of those people.
Well,
I do think there was an opportunity missed. I would have liked to have seen the struggle between him more. I felt like they made it very cut and dry. Like one day he's a normal child, and the next day he's just evil.
But
And
that's what puberty does, though. I'm here's
But here's
I'm
the thing.
going with
But here's the thing. He's evil, but then he's still like masquerading as like a normal. It just didn't work for me. I don't know if it was like the perform. There's something about it that
You
just
could have
didn't
like
work for
put
me.
some conflict into like
Yeah,
before
I
he
would
tries to kill his
exactly. I would
parents.
like to see the
like
conflict.
that he's
the
like
struggle,
trying to
like the nature versus
Yeah.
nurture element. Like, where he's like, I have to kill you.
I actually saw a little bit of it with his mom, but I don't mind that there was no arc for him because of
Was
the
there an
fact
arc
that,
for any of the characters? I
maybe
don't
the
think there
parents
was.
until they realized.
But there
that
really wasn't
their
much. Like maybe for the,
child's
I think the
fucked up.
dad had the most and he had the least amount of screen time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I didn't mind the lack of arc for the kid because he was an alien. He was like there for a reason, obviously, which we find out later. Like it was take the fucking Earth, but take the world or whatever. But I
Take
think
the
that
Earth.
like once he came in contact with that, like I think it's something. It was like a switch. It flipped,
Yeah.
and I don't mind that there was no arc because he's not human. If he were human, I'd be more upset. But because he's not, he was actually put on the Earth to destroy it. And that made sense to me because he didn't have.
But then also,
No,
why did
but-
it just flip on at 12? Why wouldn't it be there the whole time? Or also, why don't it flip on when he was like grown-up sized and he's like a miniature person?
Because puberty sucks, man.
I
right?
could have so like the scene of when he was like right before he kills his father, like right before he finds out right after he finds out that his father was going to shoot him, like maybe have him like not try to kill him at first, maybe like
Agreed.
have him
but
like threaten him with what powers he can do.
that's where it comes like the flip. He's not human, and he is there for a reason, and he just realized the reason.
feel like
and
that
that's
was well
why
done, though.
that
The flips, I would argue, was
I
poorly
didn't
done.
care with it, but logically, I thought it made sense. But any of the other arcs that weren't there, I didn't really like.
I will say I did like Elizabeth Banks' performance through. Again, I thought she reacted
She's
to what she
amazing
had.
all the
Like
time.
even like her performance when she realizes she called her husband to warn him like, oh shit, after she realized like she
Yeah.
finds like the papers. Also though, again, also dumbass, you're a fucking alien. Why the fuck are you drawing pictures like a 12-year-old boy? Again, like there's inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Like. Why? It doesn't make sense. You're an alien. Why are you drawing your kills in fucking crayon and hiding it behind your bed?
It was pen. It wasn't crayon.
Whatever. Fucking amateur. Anyways.
Well, he was dueling during class because he was bored as fuck. And
But
when
again, you're a fucking alien.
So you
Why
think
are
we
you
should
doing
have,
because
like,
he needs
I don't
to
think you
get
should
it
have
out.
a 12-year-old thing.
style?
I don't think you should have to like. Yes, you
Like-
should have done an art form.
like
But no, but like, why are you leaving evidence? Like, no.
You're an alien in a small town. What
Guys,
else is there to do?
anybody who has access to the internet should know by now you don't fucking leave
But he
evidence
leaves-
hidden under your bed.
he signs every kill. I mean, he wants. It's like almost he wants to get caught
But
because
again,
he
also,
knows
you're a
he's
fucking alien.
unstoppable.
Why? But I did not picture that at all in any way, shape, or form.
Because I think he's like sure that nobody and nothing can kill him. So
But
that is
yeah,
why
I
he
think
but I
doesn't-
feel like
what
that's a
He
reach.
just doesn't give a fuck.
There's nothing in the movie to indicate that other than just like ignorance.
No, but he said to I think the little girl, he was like, I just realized that I'm special and that I'm not like the rest of them and I'm better.
I did like that because I feel like that
Yeah.
reminded me of like every parent with a dumbass fucking child that they tell their child that they're special. Right?
special.
It's so true. And
No,
I was like,
I don't
motherfucker,
deal
like,
with that. And,
Jessica, you're special.
shut up, Aiden. I love you too. You know what I mean? Like everyone's like, my kid's special. No, he's not. He's fucking mentally challenged.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had the
you're
opposite.
special.
No, I literally had the opposite. I had my mom say, "You're not special. You're not better than anybody," and I'm like, "Okay."
We need to stop this video to do a therapy session with Dani.
I'm like, she actually stopped coming to my dance classes because like she couldn't stand the other mothers because the other mothers were like, "My kid's the greatest," and she's like, "That's stupid. Like,
They're like, clearly mine is the best.
why are you even? This is dumb. Like, I'm out."
But
Like,
the other
she
thing,
couldn't
okay,
do
but
it.
also I hate inconsistencies in movies. It really does bother me.
What was inconsistent?
So like his powers were inconsistent. Like at first, like when he first like found where the spaceship was hidden, he was like pulling and he couldn't break the chain. And then like the next time he could just break the chain effortlessly.
Well, because it was getting stronger and stronger.
But here's the thing, even right after that, he could still fucking fly all over the world. No, you could fucking break a shitty ass chain from Home Depot for $1.89 a yard.
That's true.
No, I fucking
Yeah, I did wonder a little bit about
if
that.
you can fly across the like fucking city inside of like 30 seconds, you can bring
Well,
it
he
back
didn't
in.
fly yet. He ran.
Well, he flew through the house,
He did super fast. Yeah, he jumped like 2 stories
through the windows.
Jumping.
yeah.
Jumping was different.
But again, I'm gonna say you can fucking rip a chain and not be in like a sleep like.
Because flying was the last
Or, like,
thing you
but
saw
he
him
also
do.
like he was
Yeah.
like the first time he tried to like
Which
find
is-
the spaceship, he was like pulling at it for like a really long time, enough time for Immortal to hear him in her second floor bedroom, come down the stairs, look through the house,
Immortal.
go out the
Yeah.
door into the barn, find him. Like he was doing it for a really long fucking time.
Yeah,
I
he
like,
was.
Fucking
Yeah, it was
just
a long
rip the
time.
motherfucking chain, bitch.
Well, she was scared.
She took
You know?
even longer because she was fucking scared. But also, like, her child is fucking a demon. Of course she's scared.
Yeah.
She knows it on some
You know,
level.
some people just get like paralyzed when there's fear.
Well, yeah, but
Oh.
she's more referring to the
But
fact
still, like,
that it
the
took
issue
her
that it's-
so long.
Yeah.
Like, he should have had it easily. And also,
That was
like,
kind of silly.
and also, like, again, too, that should have also been a spark. Like, at the very least, tell your husband the truth about that because you're like, that's fucking a problem. He's like tugging at the spaceship door.
I didn't like that she covered for
lied.
him
I would have liked to actually just find out more
before
about
she
the
even
spaceship.
knew.
right?
Before she even knew what was
I felt
going
the
on.
spaceship was probably the worst effect in the movie.
Yeah, like
Oh,
he's
pause.
You don't see it.
We have, speaking of spaceships,
I mean, like
It's not a spaceship. Is that a spaceship?
it's an airplane.
it's gonna come crashing then.
It's not.
Then-
Yeah, what I wanted to
You'll
say,
be
I would have
fooled.
wanted an explanation about the spaceship. Like, I mean, all of a sudden, this kid is like walking downstairs in its sleep, and it's speaking in this alien language to the spaceship, and it's glowing, and.
But also, it's glowing so
meant to
bright
see it
again. Does nobody ever see out their window? There's a glowing light that's lighting up your entire fucking barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I didn't like. I was like, bitch, it's the whole barn.
Right?
Like,
It's not like a little bit of a
Nitpicking
fucking light.
little.
that's
No,
all
it's a
thing.
giant fucking red light
thing.
lighting up a giant fucking red barn. You're in the middle of nowhere. You have no lights from civilization. You don't notice that your entire barn is ignited in a red light?
You got a point there.
Right?
Yeah, you got a point.
Like, and also, we've seen the fact that the parents are not dumb people. Why are you fucking acting like morons?
Don't be stupid.
Don't be
That's
stupid.
Don't be stupid, you guys.
what else
like,
didn't
don't
work?
be stupid.
Let's just-
Don't be
so-
stupid.
What else didn't work? I didn't like that they like. So I thought that with like the uncle, he clearly died in front of the kid, and then they're like, he's still alive, and then he died in the hospital. I was like, why? Just I don't know.
Did they say he was still alive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they were
Oh.
like met in the hospital.
I thought they meant in the hospital because.
No, when the aunt was there, they definitely said that he was.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't die in front of the kid. Like that's how. Like, I mean, I get it because
Bitch,
like,
your jaw is off. You're
he
fucking
wasn't. But
bleeding out.
but that's
Yeah.
just because you're bleeding out and your jaw's off doesn't mean you're completely 100% dead.
Yes,
I'm
it's
just
in a
saying,
small
your heart will
town
still
on a side fucking
beat.
street where it's going to be like 45 minutes before any kind of emergency vehicle gets there, if they're even called. Which who the fuck
Yeah.
knows how long it was before
Well,
they
that's
were
true.
called.
But they also don't have anything else to do. So
Yeah, but good luck finding them. Once I got stuck in a snowbank in Canada, and I gave them my GPS coordinates, and they literally were like, "We don't know how to find you." I was like,
Oh,
"I
no.
gave you my coordinates," and they're like, "Yeah, we." I was like, "Look on a map." Like, I gave you the coordinates, bitch. It took them 3 hours to find me.
what?
3 hours.
Why?
I thought I was gonna die.
Oh,
I actually
no.
dug myself
I thought I
out
was gonna
to
die.
go to the nearest post that had a sign that was covered by snow. Right? And it was
Wait, you were in your car in a snowbank.
I was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, well, basically, I was in Canada, in my hometown, Owen Sound, Ontario. Getting to there in the winter months can be really, really hectic because, like, if you follow GPS, it'll tell you to take streets that haven't been plowed that day. So basically, I was like, turn right, and I turned right into a street that hadn't been plowed,
Oh,
and the
shit.
snow was, like, up to my bumper, and then it was snowing so much that I tried to dig myself out around the car with my hands, and by the time I made a 45-minute circumference around the car, it had snowed as much as when I started. So I was like, oh, fuck, I'm dead. So, and I was
Oh,
like,
fuck,
I
I'm
literally
dead.
was like calling people. I was like, if I die. But then I was like, let me make it to you. So I was like, let me go to this like fence. And
You
I'm
were
gonna
calling
see,
people, if
like,
I
where
die.
there's some kind of like sign, but there's so much snow that it's like covering the signs that are attached to poles, right? So I go there, and I'm not kidding you. I'm on the phone with the cops, and I'm like wiping it off, right? With like a rag, because I'm not dressed appropriately for this weather. Of course I'm not.
She's never dressed appropriately.
Ever.
for
Well, you can't
snowy
be
weather
dressed
ever.
appropriately in Canada
No, it's
ever.
fucking frightening.
It's impossible.
So I like covered up. I'm on the phone with the cops. I kid you not. It was a handmade Jesus sign. It was like, if God so loved the world that he gave his only forgotten son, for he so loved the believe. And I'm like, this is where I die. This is where the rednecks and cannibals.
Jesus.
And I was like, I'm going back to my car, and I'm gonna lock the
Jesus
door.
can suck it,
and
'cause
hope
I'm gonna
I don't die. And then, like, far off in the distance, there's, I'm not kidding you, like a creepy fucking house with like
Oh, no.
one light off in the yard that doesn't make any sense why that one light is aren't over the yard, like not even attached to the barn, like those single random light. And I was they're like,
One
"Do you
light
see
was on?
anything?" Yeah, like in a yard, not even on the house or on the barn, like in the yard. And they're like, "Do you see anything around?" I was like, "Well, there's one house and with a barn, and there's like one light that's like not attached to either. I don't know why it's on." They're like, "Go there." I was like, "No, no. Have you never seen a horror movie? That I die. Like I for sure don't make it out of there alive. Like I knock on that
Spoken
door.
like a true scream queen.
Yes.
I'm gonna die." 'cause
She
that
was
doesn't make
like,
sense.
I've been in movies
No.
in this situation, and I died.
For the
Yes.
record, I was like, at least if I stay in my car, I have a fucking fighting chance because I have to see them if they try to enter the fucking vehicle. Fuck that shit. No, I'm
Imagine there was
fucking.
a bear
By the way,
involved,
if you
too.
can't dig yourself out of that, no killer's gonna dig to get in. To
Well,
kill
but I have to see them coming because they're like dig, 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 step,
Yeah.
dig, 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 step. Right? Like they can't just like get to me.
Yeah.
But
So
they-
I
what
ended
if
up
you had a
getting-
shovel or something like that?
I did
And you
not
know
have
this
a shovel.
bitch always has like some kind of like knife or something in her car
Right.
to like kill
I mean,
you with.
I wish I did. I did not. I was like, I'm gonna die. I literally was like,
Die.
this is how I don't live. But then, like,
This is how I don't live.
in
I'm
3
special.
hours,
This is
not
how I
supposed to
stopped
die.
living.
I'm not. So like within 3 hours,
how I stopped
within
winning.
3 hours, like they did come and they did find me, and it was like a $300 tow.
Oh my god.
Stupid. And
I
I
would've
was
been
like,
like,
just off the main highway, like
$100 for
Yeah.
off for every hour it took you to come to find me.
No,
Was
like
your car on?
no, because they had to wake. Yeah, they had to wake up somebody to like get into the tow truck. It's like it's small town Canada, right? So they don't have 24-hour tows. So the police had to contact, like, figure out the area I was in, and they contact the person. They had to go down.
That's why I was very, very, very grateful to have my dad. I would just call my dad and be like, "Daddy, fix it." And he'd be
So
like,
and here's the
"Okay."
thing, at the time, I just didn't want to wake my parents up because it was like 2 in the morning or something, and
Yeah, I
my
never
parents
cared
didn't
about that.
sleep well at all. So like, and they like had a company, and it was like very important to them. So, anyways,
I'm rather gonna die than wake my parents up.
That's a Canadian thing. Like,
Like,
I will
really
die
nice.
before being rude. Meanwhile, my dad, when I was a kid, told me, like, seriously, just call me any time of the night. It's fine if you need help. It's fine. I'm like, okay, it's 4 a.m. Wake the fuck
Like
up.
the
Dad, I
amount of
need help.
time as a teenager I called where I was like, I'm in my 20s, I need to be mature now.
No, see, I was the opposite. In my teens, I was like, I'm not going to get drunk and drive because I don't want to have to call my dad.
Right.
But then in my 20s, I'm like, 3 a.m., Daddy, I'm drunk. Come get me. Okay.
So back to Brightburn.
Yeah.
And rant. We like to get caught off on other
We
rants
rant a
this
lot
show.
on this show.
I like that.
I mean,
So-
she could easily edit that out, but she doesn't.
But I don't, because
It's such a nice dramatic
we like
story
it.
too.
Yeah, right.
We like it.
And I lived to tell the
She
tale.
almost died, but she was too. She was too polite.
Sign in Canada.
She was too polite, and then Jesus. She was like, "Jesus, save me!" And she wiped that off, and he did not save her.
Did not.
It was worse.
That being said, so we discussed about what we did like, what we didn't like. Now,
think we
would you
discussed all
recommend
that.
this? Would you recommend this to others?
I would.
I have
You
others
liked
that
it.
I would recommend this to.
It's
But-
a fun time.
People. Those are people I don't like. I mean, or fucked up people like this one who would like it.
I thought it was like a nice.
You liked it because you're fucked up, and I
Unique
respect the
little
fact
story.
that you're fucked up.
So I
It's
would
not. It's not a negative.
I didn't think the movie
Damn.
overall. It was a
I
miss for me.
lost.
It was a big miss for me.
Oh.
You did not
I
lose.
wanted it to be so much better, and it did not meet my expectations.
I
in any
expected
capacity.
it to be shit, so it's fine.
But it did open up more doors for.
I told you I
sequels,
want to go
you know?
see it.
But
And I was
sequels of a
quite-
shitty movie, like, do we really need that? I mean,
No, but it will be because
let's make another $200,000
say-
shitty Hellraiser film with a fat fucking pinhead. Like, we don't need any more bad sequels. Is my point.
But that's what Hollywood does. That's just what they
Well,
do.
you can't get away from it anymore, especially in our time.
I mean, it was superhero based, even though it was like a flip, it's like a bizarro world, whatever thing. So it was superhero based, but it will most likely get a sequel, I think, unless it didn't do well at the box office. If it did decent at the box office,
Well, I think it has to because of the budget that they had. It was a relatively low budget for the opening that it had.
does it mean
Yeah, it does. It almost always, like, basically if a movie is going to make back its original budget in the opening weekend
Oh,
in
okay.
America.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand
That
what you
almost
said.
always means it's going to, because you can typically do a lot better foreign depending upon your names, which this has good names for foreign. Just Elizabeth Banks and James Gunn, I think we'll sell it foreign.
Oh, hell yeah.
So-
definitely.
Easy. Oh, okay. I thought.
But also, they're not in the sequel, but it can still get people to go and see the sequel.
Well, James Gunn might produce a sequel.
I'm sure he will.
I'm sure.
He
I'm sure.
He didn't die in the movie because he wasn't in that movie.
They left too many questions unanswered because to make so they
I'm
could
sorry.
make a sequel.
I just need to say right now at the very end during the credits, they had this the conspiracy guy like who had his radio show. Oh, what the fuck is that actor's name? He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He played the bad guy.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. I
That was a
love
really good
him,
cameo.
and that was the best cameo I've seen in
Agreed.
a long time. Because it was during the fucking credits, and he was like, "This is happening," in small or not,
And
small,
he was
though.
ridiculous.
And
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, and like it's
Brightburn, and yeah. So, but he was ridiculous and over the top, which is why we love him. I love that guy. That guy's fucking great.
But also,
He
when
reminds
your
me of
favorite part
every guy I
comes
know
during the
from that.
credits, it's a shitty film.
No, yeah, that's true.
I'm
But
the only
yeah.
one who liked it.
You are one of three.
I wasn't gonna. No, listen. To be fair, I wasn't gonna like it in the beginning. I didn't want to go see it. I knew I wasn't gonna like it. So
to be fair,
to be
I wanted
fair,
to see it. I wanted to like it. I fucking did.
I was not
No.
disappointed because I was disappointed that I had to go. So I was only happy that I got to see Heatherdorf and I got margaritas and we got to hang out at Margaritaville before and after the show.
The way to
Give me-
Denny's
yeah.
is hard, guys.
Yes. Give me drinks and Heatherdorf and I am happy.
So, side note, I'm gonna link his channel down below. I'll link her contact information, like on Facebook and stuff.
I mean,
Don't be
not
super
my cell
creeper.
phone number, dude.
No.
I mean, make
just
sure.
DM me. I'll send it to you. It's fine. That being said,
She would. She fucking would.
don't forget to hit the like button down
Are
below.
you a
and also
creepy guy?
subscribe.
Jess will give you my number.
I totally will. Or Heather Dorf. Or Heather Dorf Nudes. It's fine.
And visit me while you're at it.
Visit him while you're at
Luckily,
it.
she has no nudes of me. I'm so happy about it.
Yet.
Well, topless photos are different, and I don't care about that. Anybody can see my boobs, whatever. I don't care.
You heard it here first. Anyways, speaking of that, don't forget to join the Patreon. You heard it from Dani.
No, just joking.
We do a Patreon to support the channel. If you like me, if you like us, hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and check out the Patreon for
Yes.
10 billion bonus points that gets you maybe naked Dani Inks photos. We'll see.
No, there is no naked Dani Inks photos anywhere.